Welcome to your program Tête-à-tête. I am Sudhanshu Ranjan, and we are extremely privileged to have great economist Professor Amartya Sen, who was awarded Nobel Prize in 1998 for his sterling and benevolent contribution to the subject, known for putting forth his views frankly and fearlessly on all issues concerning common man. Professor Sen was also subsequently awarded Bharat Ratna in 1999. So, sir, welcome to our show.
Thank you
We
very
are
much. Thank
extremely
you for
thankful
having
and
me.
feel privileged to be in the midst
Uh,
of your company.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You have been giving statements that create and make news. And let's begin with the face off with Jagdish Bhagwati. Both of you have been giving views on the model of growth, development, and also regarding the politics and the political issues which are being discussed currently in India. First of all, about the model of growth or development, because as Jagdish Bhagwati says, GDP is central to everything, and you also say that GDP is important, but other issues, Human Development Index, cannot be glossed over. I want to know from you, what is, in your view, or how do you view GDP? Is it a precondition to development, or is it an outcome or after effect of development?
No, it's associated with development, and to concentrate on it would be to overlook why is it that we are concerned with development. GDP is really very important. So it's lots of things: law and order, rule of law, trains running on time, and so on. Lots of things are. But you don't make them the central feature of development. Development is concerned with expansion of human freedom. And our human freedoms depend on not only what we are restrained from doing, but also we are actually able to do. If you're illiterate, you can't read and write, you can't read books, you can't read newspapers. If you don't have any medical care, you might die, or you lead a very painful life. So I think the freedom from avoidable illness, premature mortality, unnecessary morbidity,
Public health care in general.
Individual life actually is not public health yet. I'm just looking at how the lives of people go. The lives of people go guided by and influenced by a variety of considerations, in which public health care, public services are very important. GDP is important too, because that gives you income. And more income gives you freedom to buy things. I think this you mentioned, this concern about Bhagwati and by myself. I have never written anything on Bhagwati and where we differ. I've been attacked a fair amount by him.
I read in newspapers views of both Bhagwati and Professor Sen.
Yes, that's right. But he's also articulated a lot about why he disagrees with me. I'm not going to get into a slanging match on that, because it makes no sense. I think he's concerned that the gross domestic product is important, so am I. But the two things that to emphasize, and I'm not saying where Bhagwati differs, because I'm not really, you're not going to get me into the territory of Bhagwati versus Sen. That's a very demeaning way of looking at public.
It's not to demean or...
No, but it is, because...
It's a very honest difference of opinion.
I don't know where the exact differences of opinion are, and it doesn't really matter what the differences are, because there are hundreds of economists in the world, and you don't have to pick just two and see where they disagree. The main thing is, what are we trying to do through economic development and social development? To expand human freedom so that we are not subjugated by conditions unfavorable to us, which are beyond our control, like becoming ill because the epidemics in the country, becoming uh, remaining illiterate. These are things. Also, um, we need legal protection, human rights, that as well as legal rights of very many kinds, civil rights, habeas corpus. These are all parts of development. You can't dissociate development from an all-round expansion of human freedom. Now, in that context, GDP fits into the story. It's one part of a very large story. On top of that, that story, namely GDP itself, is very dependent on other things. There's been no country which has been able to maintain high rate of expansion of GDP over a stretch of time, not just coming there and then going down, without having an educated and healthy labor force.
Us to somewhere near anarchism as propagated by Tolstoy, Max Stirner, or Proudhon, that there should be no control on human beings, they should be totally free.
No, I'm not taking that view, because if there's no control on human beings, there could be a riot and I could be killed, and so could be you, and therefore you do want some restraint on the part of the gundas, as it were, and therefore I don't think the idea that there should be no restraint on human freedom is the right way of looking at it. You have to see what combination of law, institutions would have the best result in enhancing the freedom of people in general.
So does it not make you individual-centric, as sometime back I had read Thomas Stewart writing about you, that if you talk about this human freedom, that also makes it individual-centric?
Well, the individual is central to any society. A society consists of a collection of individuals. And I don't think there's any
contradiction.
No contradiction. I think the best writing on that is someone who's not thought to be an individualist, namely Karl Marx. Namely, you don't want an abstraction of the society from the individual constituting it. On the other hand, the individual life depends very much on the society around you.
You were a Marxist initially.
I've never been a Marxist.
But you have been associated with left.
I've certainly been associated with the left. I still am, I think. Though the left might disown me, but
You've been voting for them, as you acknowledged.
Pardon?
You've been voting for the left.
No, I voted for, in the past, I voted both for left as well as for Congress in the past. I won't tell you whom I voted for this time.
I'm not asking.
Yes, but you know, to benefit from the enormous political and social and economic wisdom of Marx, you don't have to be a Marxist. Marx at one stage himself, in the context of arguing with some, said, "Thank God I'm not a Marxist."
But that was in a different context. When a meeting was being held at the residence of his son-in-law, and when some people suggested that you should also associate peasants and farmers, then he said that if the peasant and farmers are to be associated, and if this is Marxism, I'm not a Marxist. That was, I think, in Paris in 1880.
Yes, I don't think he quite said if the peasants and farmers, but I know the context is different. But what I'm saying, that we can benefit from Marx. I mean, a very big influence on my thinking has been Adam Smith. But I'm not a Smithian any more than I'm a Marxist. Because Marx was himself very much a Smith-influenced person, enormously, Adam Smith, tremendously. I think we learn from a lot of people, and I don't doubt that I have a lot to learn from Professor Bhagwati as well. I don't think, since to the best of my knowledge, I've never attacked him. I can't say I've never been attacked, never been attacked by him. On the other, I consider
views that the newspapers have been.
I know, but the newspapers like doing it. No, in July and August last year, when my book came out, Professor Bhagwati did write 20 or so essays or comments or exchanges criticizing me. I don't think I've ever retaliated. I'm mentioning it because I get very upset when people say that you are always attacking each other. I never attacked him. And I don't see any reason to. He's a good economist, he's an intelligent person, and he has a lot of things to say. I don't agree with him on many subjects. That's not a reason for attacking anyone. No, I think we, coming back to Marx and Smith, and I learned a lot from John Stuart Mill, and so I think our knowledge comes from many people. I was just making the comment that that kind of individual freedom without restraint orientation is as problematic as is the idea that somehow society has a kind of identity of its own, abstracted from the individual constituting it. So I reject both of them, and I was mentioning in this respect I'm rather similar to Marx's own thinking, where he would like to have the individual as a central feature of the social life, but never think of the individual in abstraction from the society. I think that is a big wisdom we did get from Marx, to some extent from Smith too, and in a very different way from John Stuart Mill, when he was emphasizing the importance of individual liberty, which I strongly believe in.
Liberty, privacy, all things he
Yeah,
discussed.
yeah. So I think my political thinking is influenced by a whole lot of philosophers, economists, sociologists, from whom I've learned, and who have left an impression on my thinking and my life.